Hey, I'm so glad to be able to connect with you this morning. We're gonna, over the next few days, be way less produced and just let's sit down and have a chat. But on Sunday, we looked at 1 John 2:15 through 17, and we saw that the devil's pretty much just got three tricks that he tries over and over again. It's passions, possessions, positions. Passions, possessions, positions. We saw him use them and Adam and Eve in the garden. We saw that he tried using them on Jesus in the wilderness, and he uses them on us today. Today we're going to talk about passions. And when you really dig into passions and that idea, we see the Israelites and all through the scripture, people falling to passions. And one of the biggest ways they fall, one of the biggest temptations that continues to get them is the god of Asherah, the god of Asherah. And they worship this god. It was a god of passion, a god of lust, a god of fertility, this false god, this demon god that they worshipped. And part of worshiping Asherah was worshiping physically. And they set up Asherah poles. And if it's a god of fertility and it's a pole, yes, it's where your imagination would go. That's where it went. That's how they worshipped this god. But although we may not worship that God the same way, I believe that the spirit behind is still wreaking havoc on humanity. The lust of the flesh is still wreaking havoc on us, and we have to figure out how to overcome it. And one of the starting places, and maybe you should write this down, is the word integrity. Integrity. And you're like, oh, I know what he's going. I know what he's going to say. I need to do what's right all the time. And that's not what integrity means. Integrity is not doing what's right all the time. It's doing the same thing any time. The word integrity, its root is integer. It's a whole. It's a math term for a whole, an integer. So a person with integrity is a person who's whole. There's someone who will not live two lives. It doesn't mean that you're perfect. It means that you're honest. So it's somebody who says, I'm going to consistently be the same person no matter where I am or who I'm around. And we see in Proverbs that they're just right and say, like, you got to watch out and guard yourself to live with integrity. And in Proverbs, Proverbs 5, 7-10, it says, now my son, listen to my word. Never stray from what I'm about to say. Stay away from her. Don't go near the door of her house. And this is somebody who's trying to tempt him with the lust of the flesh, trying to tempt him with passions. He continues in verse 9. If you do, you'll lose your honor. You'll lose to merciless people all you've achieved. Strangers will consume your wealth, and someone else will enjoy your labor. When we say, I'm just going to give in to that passions, the writer of Proverbs gave this warning to his son. Listen, the passions are going to call out, but you have to stay away. You'll lose anything you worked for once you let them take control. I love how the Message translates Romans 6. In verse 12 through 14, it says, that means you must not give sin a vote in the way you conduct your lives. Don't give it the time of day. Don't even run little errands that are connected to the old way of life. Throw yourself wholeheartedly and full time. Then it's got a little dash and it says, remember, you were raised from the dead. And then it goes back to where it was before. So throw yourselves wholeheartedly and full time into God's way of doing things. Sin can't tell you how to live. After all, you're not living under the old tyranny any longer. You're living in freedom of God. And that's Romans 6:14, 12-14 out of the Message translation. Don't give sin a vote. Don't give it time of day. Don't run little errands. I loved the way he translated that be the same person no matter where you are. Be the same person no matter who you're around. Be the same person. And that's in the way we act. That's not necessarily in what we tell people. Because we know we are going to have the mental struggles with these different things sometimes. And you need people around you who you can speak to and tell them what's going on with you. You need to open up to some people. And that's where we're really going to find freedom. But here's my challenge for you today. I want you to say yes to God and no to the devil. All right, but how do you do that? It's choosing to be the same person no matter where you are, no matter who you're with. Choosing to be the same person when you're with your parents, if you're a high schooler, and with your friends at school. Choosing to be the same person when you're laying in bed next to your wife, both scrolling your phones, and when she's working late and you're feeling lonely. What you look at needs to be the same. Being the same person no matter where you are. And I heard the saying that I love. It's if the grass is greener, the water bill is higher. We got to remember that. Sometimes it looks way better, but what's always the best is to be the same person no matter where you are, to live with integrity. I hope this encourages you